Are you familiar with the Proud Boys?
Sure.
Yeah. The
Oh yeah.
Proud Boys
Mm-hmm.
is a fun little organization.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. By the way, and I'm going to get into the leader of the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio.
Yeah.
Sure, you heard some news about him today and
Yeah.
some of his other Proud Boys over the last
They
week.
ain't too proud now,
Ain't
but
too proud now. Well, you know where they got that name, Proud Boys?
no.
It's from a Disney movie, Aladdin. There's a song in there called Proud to Be Boys or something like that.
What?
And the original leader of the Proud Boys, Gavin McInnes, I think his
Yeah,
name
yeah.
was, he heard that song and for some reason it resonated with him. He said he hated it and it drove him nuts, but there's lines in the song and somehow he started calling this organization Proud Boys based off a Disney movie, Aladdin, which is
Oh, that's
a little
it's just
strange.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like it just is. Poor Disney.
yeah, poor Disney. Yeah. Um, So anyway, Enrique Tarrio, the former chairman of the far-right Proud Boys, was sentenced to 22 years in federal prison Tuesday afternoon following his conviction on seditious conspiracy charge in connection with the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. His sentence is the longest so far in the January 6th case so far, and that surpasses the 18 years given to the Oath Keepers. I guess the Proud Boys, their organization is more important than the Oath Keepers.
Guess
Stuart
so.
Rhodes, he got his 18 years. He was convicted also on seditious conspiracy.
Yeah.
Last week, Joe Biggs was sentenced to, actually, these guys' names doesn't matter. Although this Joe Biggs, I can't help but laugh. And
Yep.
fuck him, because he was literally in front of the
Crying.
judge whining like a
Yep.
little baby
Yeah.
about how he wanted to take his daughter to school and his mom and
Oh
this.
wow.
And sorry,
Oh,
bro.
oh wow.
Yeah. Where I really don't feel sorry for him is still when you could see the videos of him on January 6th bragging and laughing
Yes.
about how
Yep.
he attacked the Capitol and
Yep.
all this stuff. And um, my sympathies
Where's
are
Trump
zero.
now? Where's Trump now?
Correct. That's the other thing too. And by the way, all right. I all have sympathy for the young girl, the daughter. She played no role in this. And but outside of that, I have zero sympathy for any of these people. Not 1 ounce of it. And I smile when I saw this. I was like excited, like my favorite team just won the Super Bowl. What do you think about that, Lana?
Welcome. I mean, it's it is unfortunate for some of these people who just got caught up in that. You just really believe it because we talked about it, they just get in that cycle bubble and they just don't hear or believe anything outside of it. Like you have to give it to Donald Trump. He really was able to become a cult leader. Like
Yes.
he knew all of the words. He knew what to say. He knew how to. He was like the Pied Piper. He
Yeah.
spoke their language. Like literally, they will say Donald Trump is one of us when actually, in fact, Joe Biden is more like one of you than Donald Trump ever was. Like that's how crazy that is. Except for Joe Biden's not a racist. Like in a big.
Right. And that goes to almost every one of the factions of that MAGA party. And when I say factions, I'm talking about the poor people. He is he is more for them. The well, not like you said, not the racist, but there's different, all these people that are screaming and wanting, things to happen for their lives. Donald Trump's not the guy that's going to do it. But you said he found what he did was he lit this spark and he threw a match in and it just started gaining more and more and more fire. And once he saw that and how big the fire was getting, then he was
Yeah.
just on a mission and he let loose and went nuts. And it worked. Like I said, unfortunately, it worked.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So Tario, by the way, was not at the Capitol. He wasn't even there on January
Right.
6th, but he did get the biggest He did get the biggest sentence.
Yeah.
And part of that, or a lot of the arguments that I've heard people saying is, again, it's a um, perfect comparison when they say Charles Manson.
Yeah.
He
Never
didn't murder
did.
anybody.
Never.
Um,
Did.
Osama bin Laden, he was not in New York or Washington on that day,
Right.
but they were the ones, and it even said this Tarrio guy was very charming and he knew how to talk to these people, much like Donald Trump knew how to
Mhm.
talk to these people and to really get them ginned up to attack the Capitol on that day. And obviously now it is the biggest mistake of their lifetime, and there's
Yeah.
no taking it back at this point.
Nope. Nope. He gonna
Yeah.
be big guy on campus, I guess.
Yeah. They let me see here. The judge agreed. Okay, so they argued for terrorism sentencing and enhancement in the case, saying his actions were clearly intended to influence the government. The judge agreed, applying the terrorism enhancement in Tarrio's case, as he did for the Proud Boys leaders, four co-defendants. So again, these guys definitely got what they deserved, and honestly, if they would have just
Wow.
given him more, it would have been fine with me.
Wow. Like all of that for
Yeah.
Donald Trump, who
Right.
could care less. It's like
He's not thinking one day about these people, not one
not
day,
one day.
which makes it kind of even more satisfying in a way, that you
Mhm.
did all this for a guy that I
Yep.
think you heard it all the time. People who had some sensibility about this whole thing would say, this guy does not care about you. Why are you doing this? He
Right.
doesn't like you. He doesn't care about you. He would
Yep.
want you nowhere near him. But they fell for it.
And he kind of represents an ideology too. So
That's
maybe
exactly right.
yeah, maybe it's what a lot of them. It's not Trump. It's the ideology of what he brings, like white nationalists, white Christian nationalists.